One thing I love about this eBay community on YouTube is that everyone seems to be willing to share little tips and tricks to help each other out. In today's video, I'm going to share 2 viewer comments that have either saved me money or saved me time, or both. Welcome to eBay with Chris. I'm on a journey to build an eBay business from $0 to $3,000 monthly profit in just 12 months. In today's video, I'm going to give you the weekly report. Actually, it's a bi-weekly report for the 2 weeks starting June 5th through June 19th. I'll give you those numbers. I'll give you the eBay reports as well as my metrics and how I'm doing. I also have an update on my inventory. As you can see, I have my inventory behind me right here, or some of it, and I want to give you an update on how my inventory system has evolved since I started my numbering system and my boxes and how that all works right now. I think it's improving and getting more and more efficient, and I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the eBay reports. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see, here's a report for the 2 weeks of June 5th through June 18th. So when you're looking at these numbers and you compare them to some of my other videos, you'll see that these actually look pretty good, but that is only because this is for 2 weeks, not 1 week. So here we have total items sold is 35 sold in 2 weeks. And it's interesting, it was actually split each week. So the first week starting June 5th, I actually sold 18 items. And the second week starting June 12th, I sold 17 items. So really split. My total sales for this 2 weeks, $1,130.19. Again, split pretty evenly. $542 week 1, $587 week 2. My selling cost, $449.43. And that's 39.8% of my total sales, which is a little bit high, percentage or 2 points high. And that also was split, although it was a little bit heavier week 1, $251 week 1 and $198 week 2. My net sales for the 2 week period, $622.56. This is what eBay paid me for these sales, $622.56. Again, split pretty evenly. My average sales price per item sold, $32.29, which is really good. My goal is to at least be better than $28 average sale price, because if I have a $28 average sale price, I know I'm going to have at least a $10 profit per item when considering my eBay fees, my buy costs, and other fees related to my business. $28 average sale price is easily going to net a profit of $10 per item. So I'm pretty happy with this $32.29 average sale price. Okay, so this chart shows my sales across that 2 week period. And as you can see from the chart, I pretty much had sales almost every day. It looks like there was 2 days there when I didn't have sales on June 11th and 12th. Was that a weekend? I think that was a weekend. So I had almost no sales over a weekend. That's crazy. But you can see I'd have a $100 day followed by a $50 day, another $100 day. And then on the second week, I had a $75 day, $50 day, then a big day of 200 plus, and then another couple $100 days. So fairly smooth sales for the 2 weeks. Not as high as I really think they should be based on the number of items that I have in my inventory. I have 800 items in my inventory right now. So based on having a 0.5% sell-through rate, which is my target, I should be selling about 4 items per day. 4 items is 0.5% of 800. That's where that comes from. As you can see on the left-hand side of the chart, my total sales or item sales are what the buyer paid for the item itself, $765.14. The buyers also paid a lot of shipping and handling. I don't do any free shipping. Everything is paid by the buyer. They paid $306.85 total for the shipping and handling. And they also paid taxes and government fees of $58.20. So that $58.20 is part of my total sales, but actually that just turns around and goes right back to eBay so that they can use that money to pay for the sales tax for each of the different states that the buyers are from. So I don't have to deal with any of that sales tax, but it is part of my total sales. So this chart shows my selling cost breakdown. So you can see I had $449.43 of total selling costs for this 2-week period. And my final value fees, my eBay final value fees, $158.57, which is actually 14% of my total sales. A little bit high. Usually I'm around 13%, so it's high by about 1%. My ad fees, I do ads. So I basically will put things on ads at a 5% ad rate. I'll do that when they've been in my inventory for roughly 2 months. So in this case, I only sold a few items that had ads on them, and I only was charged $9.40, which is less than 1% of my selling costs for that 2-week period. And then my shipping labels, which is my biggest selling cost, is buying all my labels through eBay. I spent $300.42 on my shipping labels, which turns out to be 27% of my total selling costs. So shipping labels is a big chunk of my fees. However, if you go back to the previous chart, that is slightly less than what the buyers paid me. So it's not like I'm losing money on my selling fees. So my cost for the shipping labels, $300.42, and the buyers paid $306.85. So I made $6. Wow. So now I want to take a couple minutes and talk about a couple of comments from viewers that have actually saved me some time and some money, and I hope they will also help you as well. You know, that's what I really want this community to be all about, is just helping each other grow and build a successful, profitable business on eBay. And if you want to focus on clothing like I do, great. If you focus in other areas, that's great too. You know, but it's all about helping each other navigate through the eBay selling machine. So this first comment is from Miss Ty 1972. That's her handle. She says, congrats on listing 50 items in 1 week and making those sales. You can save on your labels by using the print in bulk option when creating your label. It will print on one side and you can save the other half to use for another label. Best of luck to you. Looks like you have a good system. So yeah, thank you so much. So I started printing using the print in bulk option, and because I print on just a normal office DeskJet printer, right? And so I buy labels, and it has 2 labels on each sheet, right? Split in half, has 2 labels. And previously, when I went to go ahead and print a label, it would print the label, and then it would have a bunch of kind of eBay stuff on the other half, which I didn't give to the customer. It was just basically a waste. And so by using this print in bulk option, which I've been doing ever since I saw this comment, so I'm printing 2 labels per sheet instead of just 1 label per sheet. So if that's something you're not doing yet, go find the bulk printing option when you go to print. And honestly, if you just have 1 item to ship out, use that same option, and you can go ahead and take the other half of that sheet and use it for a future shipment that you have. Oh, and I almost forgot, if you want to see the self-adhesive labels that I use to print my shipping labels on, you can go ahead and check out the link below. It is an affiliate link, so it would give me a very small commission, but I would appreciate your support for the channel if you want to use that link. But those are the labels that I use to print in my inkjet, and it's working good for me for now. I also have some of the other supplies that I use, for example, my polybag mailers and the poly bags that I use to store my items in my storage boxes, which you'll see here in a little bit. I have links to all those down below, and if they help you, great. I really appreciate the help for the channel. So this other comment is from a Sunny Honey 551, and she says, if you choose an annual store subscription, it will save you $6 a month. It's still paid monthly, not in a lump sum. That is if you plan to keep your store after you hit $3,000 profit a month. All details and information are on the subscription page. Nice video about your good time. So she's referring to my monthly fee for my store. I have a basic store, and I was paying $27.95, and she comes in and says, no, don't do that. Sign up for the annual plan, and you're only going to pay $21.95 a month. And I'm like, mind blown, because I thought when you sign up for the annual plan, you had to pay for the whole year up front. And I really didn't have that kind of money in one lump sum that I wanted to pay for the annual plan. But in her comment, she said, no, you sign up for the annual plan, but you're only paying the monthly amount of $21.95. So there it is, saving $6 a month, $72 a year. Awesome. Thank you. So if you're on the basic plan and you're still paying month to month, switch over to the annual plan right now. Start saving yourself $6 a month. Do it. Let's dive into my business metrics and see how I'm doing on my progress from $0 to $3,000 monthly profit. Okay, so when I started to figure out what it would take to build an eBay business from $0 to $3,000 monthly profit, I started with the end goal in mind. I said, okay, what is it going to take to build a business that has $3,000 monthly profit? Well, let's start with one assumption. Let's assume that I can profit $10 per item. There we go. So that is metric number one. Am I profiting $10 per item? The second metric, they both kind of, number 2 and 3 go together. I was trying to figure out how many items I would need in my store to get $3,000 monthly profit. Like how many items would sell per day and that kind of thing. So once I watched a number of different eBay sellers, clothing eBay sellers on YouTube, it seemed to me that a lot of them were saying that a 0.5% sell-through rate is pretty doable. So I went ahead and based my business on that. So what that means is if you have 1,000 items in your store and you have a 0.5% sell-through rate, you're selling about 5 items per day. Well, for me, in order to get a $3,000 monthly profit, if I'm profiting $10 per item, I need to sell 300 items in a month, or 10 items per day. Now, if I do the math, at a 0.5% sell-through rate, I need 2,000 items in my store. So metric number 2 is to buy inventory that sells fast enough to have a 0.5% sell-through rate. And metric 3 is to grow my store by 50 items per week in order to have 2,000 items in my store by December 1st. So those are the 3 metrics. Let's see how I did. Start with store growth. So the target is to grow my store by 50 items per week. Now remember, this is for 2 weeks. So I started that 2-week period with 755 items in my store, and I ended at a milestone of 800 items in my store. So pretty excited about that. Overall store growth, 45 items. Considering that I sold 35 items, that means my store that I listed over that 2-week period, just 80 items. My store only grew by 45 items total over the 2-week period. It should have grown by 100. I completely missed my target. I've really been struggling lately with trying to hit my target of store growth. Life, super busy, right? We all are. I just got to make that a priority to list every single day of every single week and just make it happen. It's funny, in week 1, I actually grew my store by 40 items. But in week 2, I only grew it by 5. So it happens. Okay, so that's metric number 2. It's a miss. I'm going to have to recalibrate to figure out how many items I need per week in order to hit my goal of 2,000 items in my store. I still have 1,200 more items to go, and I only have about 5 months to do it in. So let's see, can I do it? Yes. Metric number 2 is my sell-through rate. Now, my goal is a 0.5% sell-through rate. Now, this is a good indication. Am I buying things that have a good sell-through rate? Am I buying quality brands with a high demand by customers? Am I pricing them correctly? Am I using good keywords in my listings so people can find my listings? Those are all indicators of, I guess, the quality of my inventory and the quality of my listings. So in order to calculate your sell-through rate, what you do is you take the number of items sold, divide it by the time period, in my case 2 weeks, and then divide that again by the total number of inventory in your store. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 35 items sold over a time period of 14 days, and then finally divide that by the number of items I started with during this period of 755 items. So if you do the math, I have a 0.33% sell-through rate. Wah, wah, wah. my target is 0.5%. And honestly, over the last probably 6 weeks, I've been trending between 0.3 and 0.4, 0.3 and 0.4% sell-through rate. So based on that, I'm going to have to also increase my target number of items in my store, because my sell-through rate is just not hitting that 0.5% anymore. It did it in the beginning, probably for the first 3 months or so, but the last 2 months it's been a real struggle to hit that. So I'm going to have to recalibrate and figure out how many items I need in my store in order to achieve 300 items sold per month. I don't know if this is if the sell-through rate for clothing kind of dips in the summer and I'm feeling some of that, and maybe in the fall it's just going to skyrocket back up and I'm going to get 0.7%, 0.8%, I don't know. But I need to assume the worst and recalibrate my plans. The final metric number 3, $10 profit per item. Can I at least hit 1 out of 3 metrics? I hope so. Let's figure this out. Okay, so my cost of goods averages $3 per item. My buy cost is actually trending down. It's about $1.82 per item. That's my buy cost year to date, about $1.82. I also add another $1 of cost to cover things like laundry, plastic bags, poly mailers, shipping and storage boxes, ink, labels, all the things that I need for my eBay business. So that's averaging out about $1 per item. So what I do is I just assume that my cost of goods sold is $3 per item. So I sold 35 items times $3. So my total cost of goods over this 2-week period is $105. eBay paid me out $622.56. So that means my actual profit before tax, $517.56. That's my taxable profit. So pretty excited about that. Now if I take that $517.56 and I divide that by the 35 items sold, my average profit per item is $14.79. Boom. 1 metric achieved. So pretty excited about that, because that actually is a really good number, and if I can achieve that, I'm going to also include that number in my new and improved calibration to see if I can achieve my $3,000 profit per month. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and recalibrate this and put that at the end of this video so you can check it out. I also want to talk about cash flow and my hourly pay rate, but first we're going to go out to my inventory storage area, and I want to show you a few things out there. Here we go. Okay, so here's part of my inventory. I actually started by storing my inventory in my house in the winter when I only had a few boxes. I actually probably accumulated about 4 stacks, maybe up to 5 stacks at one time of inventory that was actually in my house. I live in a small old farmhouse that was built in 1940. It was just really too cold to put things out in the detached garage, which is where I am now. Maybe I was too lazy to go outside. But anyways, I went ahead and moved all my inventory out to the detached garage, and here it is right here. And it's been working out pretty well for me. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to try and show you this without exposing how messy the rest of my garage is. But you can see I have 4 stacks on this side, and they're sitting on pallets like that, just in case it gets wet, and keeps like the field mice out of them. And when we go around the corner here, I have actually another row right here, as you can see, on the other side of the pallet. And then here's the back side with another 4 stacks of inventory right here on the same pallets. I also have a couple more stacks. Let me show you those. Here's the last stack and a half of my inventory right now. See, when I started out with these totes. I happened to have 3 empty totes in my garage, and I went ahead and just started filling up inventory. I labeled them A1, A2, A3, and then I started to go into various boxes of different sizes that I happen to have, and the same kind of system. A4, they're a little bit out of order here. A5, A6. The next row gets into some more A's and B's. They're not exactly in order, because the boxes are different sizes, so I actually put tried to put the bigger boxes stacked on the bottom so they're not in perfect order. And then as you can tell, I had a bunch of Amazon boxes and I just started using those. And then I had to start buying Home Depot boxes. And most of my storage right now is in the Home Depot boxes. Go ahead and pull out some inventory out of this box right here, A7. Let's grab the one that whatever's on top here. Actually, let me put it down on the ground so you can see it here. Small box, you can one-hand it. You can see this one is actually pretty empty now. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 items in this box right now. It's half full. So I've sold a bunch of the items that are in here. Here's the numbering system that I used. So you can see I used the box number A7, and then I have a SKU number 23129. I started with my SKU numbers with 23000 to basically for 2023, and then 3 zeros. I'm already into the 24,000 range. And then the last 3 numbers, 216, that's the average buy cost for these items when I bought them in that certain batch. So for this case, my average buy cost for this batch, however many that was $2.16. So I thought for some reason it was important to keep track of that in the SKU numbers. And you can see the same thing here. Let's open another one and see if that has a different buy cost in it. So I just got box B8 down. You can see this one also is about half full. So in these bigger boxes, what I do is I do them sequentially like this, going this way, and then I'll actually put a couple this way and this way. So you can see this starts out, of course it says B8 since that's the box number, and 23296, the next one should be the next number up. Here I have 23300. Oh wait, this one looks like it slipped down. Okay, 23298 upside down. Then I have 233300. Obviously I have sold some of them. 23301, 23304, 23305, and on and on. And here we get to 23307, 23309, and it's just in sequence. So I know if I'm looking for 23306, for example, you know, assuming I haven't sold that one already, it should be right there. It is right there. So it's pretty easy. And again, in this box, my buy cost for this batch that I bought was $1.98 per item on average. So for some reason, when I first started my business, I thought keeping the individual buy cost for every single item was important, or at least the average. Like if I bought, you know, 50 items and my average cost was, in this case, in this example, $1.93 per item, I thought that was important for me to keep track of and put that number in my eBay listing so I can see that. But actually I'm not keeping track of my accounting that way. I'm just doing a total buy cost for the year. I keep track of it on a spreadsheet, and if I buy 50 items and it costs me, you know, $100 for those 50 items, and my average buy cost is $2, I just keep track of it that way. So I keep track of my total expenses for all of the items that I'm buying, and then I'll just use that for my accounting at the end of the year. So that's my process right now. So what I did is I stopped putting the buy cost on my labels, and you can see they're all handwritten. I didn't print them out until recently, so I would just actually write them all individually on these labels that I had. I just had a roll of blank labels, and I think these are like 1.5 inches by 2 inches maybe. I can't remember the exact measurements, but I would just write all of these numbers, every single SKU number, and then I would put this SKU number in a custom SKU in the listing. Now I'll have to show you that in a separate video, because I actually was putting those in the wrong spot in the listings, probably for my first 500 listings. And then later on I figured out, oh, this is where it should go to make it easier. It actually shows me this number when I'm looking at the items that sold and I need to pull them to ship them out. So I'll explain more of that later, but I just wanted to show you my SKU numbers. So let's go ahead and look at a later version as well. Let's go ahead and look at this box. We're looking at box E2. Cut in here real quick. So I labeled the boxes starting with A1, and then I go up to A9, and then I flip over to B1 and go up to B9, then C1 through C9, D1 through D9, if that makes any sense. Anyways, it makes sense in my head. But this box is number E2. So we're going to go ahead and look at how what SKU number I used in this case later on. So you can see this is box E2, and it's actually still pretty full. And you can see in this case, I don't have the price on there. All I have is the box number, and then I still write the custom SKU number 23937. And again, it's sequential, although it's a little bit strange in the box. So I do have a top layer here. So if I take off this top layer like this, my box is sequential. So let's go ahead and look and see what we got here. So there's 23921, 23922, 23, 25. I must have sold 24. 23926. You guys can see it, and then all the way at the end, the last one back here, 23930. And then what I do is I start putting them right here. So I know the next one should be probably 31. Nope, it's 32, so I must have sold 31. So there's 32, 33, and the next one will be back here. So it kind of goes in this order, like this, here, here, and then on top. So here's 34, okay, 35, and then let me grab those ones that I took out. There's 36, 37, 38 must have sold already. Here's 39, and the last one is 23940. So that's my numbering system, and you can see I took out the cost, my buy cost, because honestly it didn't matter anymore, and I was tired of writing it down. Okay, so my daughter just came out to the garage and joined me for a second. You want to say hi? This is my daughter Jillian. One of the reasons I'm doing this business. Okay, in my latest iteration of the boxes, I actually stopped putting the box number on the labels, and I'll show you that. So in order to find an item, I put the first number that is in this box. So in box E3, the first item is number 23941. Now E4, here's E4, the first item is 23968. So for me, if I know it's somewhere between 23941 and 23968, I know it'll be in this box. If it's greater than 23968, it'll probably be in the next one, which it'll probably be in this one, or E6, box E6 starts with 24032. So if it's bigger than that, it'll probably be in this one. Or here's box E5, sorry they're out of order here. This one starts with 23999. So everything in these boxes is sequential. My last box that I just filled up this morning is E8. 24095 is what it starts with. Sometimes I actually sell items out of the boxes before I even get them filled up. They sell so quickly. But so the first item in here is 24095, and my first items are going to be in the front. I have this top layer on, which is kind of annoying, but right here, the first item, 24095, right there, and it'll sequentially go 96, it'll be 97, 98, and so it'll go this way, this way, this way, and then on top, a stack here and a stack there. So I can quickly find items in these boxes, and you can see I stopped handwriting the labels. I actually figured out how to print them out. I don't put the box numbers on them anymore because it just has sequentially, it's right here, and there's the number right there. So it's super easy. I can find it. I just have box numbers on here just to help me know what order the boxes should be in if I actually had them stacked in the correct order. You can see these two are not in the right order, but that's okay. I can still find it pretty fast. So the next, what I would do is, let's say this box was almost empty. You know, I sold it all. Maybe there's just a few items. I could go ahead and consolidate boxes, and then I would write the new first item number at the front of this box. So I would just scratch this out, and let's say the first item number was, I don't know, 240 or 25000. I would scratch this out, 25000. And then I would have basically a starting point for a new box. I would probably change the box number, of course. But that's my plan as far as consolidation. My system right now, I know it's not the most efficient, and I've seen other YouTubers with a really nice system. They have racks, they have open top boxes, and you can quickly, easily, they don't have things like my boxes where I have stack going this way and then a stack going to the side, another stack to the side, and then more on top. They just have one sequential row in the box, and they're able to quickly kind of filter through that like a filing system and find the item that they need. Now that's the direction I want to go, but at this point in my business, I'm not ready to spend a lot of money on racks and new boxes. I'm kind of going down and dirty, buying cheap boxes at Home Depot right now, and if I ever get any other bigger boxes that I can use for free, of course I'll use those. But that's my system, and it's working pretty well for me. It's pretty efficient. I'm able to quickly find the items. Haven't lost anything yet, and this currently is over 800 items in storage, and I have, I don't know how many boxes, 1 2 3 4, I have 10 stacks of boxes with around 5 boxes per stack, so about 50 boxes. And as far as square feet, I'm basically 4 by 10, about 4 feet by 10 feet of square feet, so that's 40 square feet for my inventory. It's not a lot, so pretty efficient with my space, and efficient as far as finding inventory that I need to ship out to customers. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed a little tour of my inventory storage area. Please, if you have any questions or comments about inventory and how I do things, or maybe you have some ideas on ways to improve how I do things as well that you want to share, please put those in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And like I mentioned before, the comments are a great way for us to help each other out. Not only get more efficient in our business, but save some money, save some time. So please help each other out by putting some comments and suggestions in down below, and we can have a great conversation. So let's get into cash flow and my hourly pay rate, and then we're going to wrap up the video with my new recalibrated plan to hit my goal of $3,000 per month. So let's go ahead and start with cash flow. So basically what I do is I subtract out the dollars spent on inventory for this 2-week period, and surprisingly I only spent $20 on inventory during that 2-week period at garage sales, and I got 41 items for an average buy cost of 49 cents per item. So I do have another source. So if you remember from a big garage sale that I went to about a month ago, I talked about meeting someone there that is a great kind of contact point for me for inventory. So I've been helping him out in his warehouse, and by doing that I'm able to get some free inventory as well. So it's been working out pretty well. It does cost me time, but I get free inventory for that. So it's just like going to the bins, kind of the time it takes me to go to the bins, but I don't have to pay for the inventory that I walk away with. So it's a pretty good deal. So I'll tell you more about that later. But my inventory costs for the 2 weeks was just $20, and you subtract that from my eBay payout of $622.56. My cash flow for the 2-week period, $602.56. That's an average of $301.28 per week. Love it. This business has good cash flow if you do it right. Keep your costs low and your other expenses low, your buy costs low, and you can put money in the bank every week. Okay, let's talk about my hourly pay rate. All right, so for this 2-week period, let me find it here. Okay, I didn't take a ton of pictures or do a lot of listings, so that's actually probably reduced my cost. But for taking pictures, I spent 4.75 hours. For actually doing listings, 12 hours. Shipping out to the customers, 2.5 hours. And for sourcing, it includes the time at that warehouse where I got the free inventory. Sourcing was 5.5 hours for a total of 24.75 hours. And if you divide my profit by my hours worked, So you take my profit of $517.56, divide it by 24.75 hours, you get an hourly pay rate of $20.91. It just keeps going up. I love it. I love it. Now, another way of looking at this is, okay, yeah, I'm trying to grow my business. I'm trying to grow my inventory. What did it cost me, or what was my hourly pay rate just for the 35 items that sold? So my average time per item sold, this includes time to source it, take pictures, list it, and ship it out, is 24 minutes per item. So if you do the math, it turns out to be an hourly pay rate of $36.97. Again, a good improvement. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out my recalibrated numbers. So here are some assumptions. I'm going to assume a $14 profit per item, just like I got in the last 2 weeks, and I've actually seen anywhere from $12 to $17 profit, so I think $14 is very reasonable. I'm also going to assume a 0.33% sell-through rate. I've been in that kind of range for the last 6 weeks, so I think that's reasonable as well. So basically what you do is you take the $3,000 profit that I want to get, divide that by $14 profit per item. It means I need to sell 214 items in a month in 30 days. So 214 items sold in 30 days means I average 7 sales per day. So the next step is to figure out how many items I need in my inventory in order to sell 7 items per day. So I assume a sell-through rate of 0.33%. What I do is I take the number of items per day, which is 7, divide it by that sell-through rate of 0.33%, and it turns out I need 2,161 items in my store in order to achieve my goal of $3,000 profit per month. So not too much bigger than I thought, more than I planned. Remember, my goal or my target is 2,000 items in my store, but it turns out at this current rate, at this current sell-through rate of 0.33% and this current profit per item of $14 per item, I would only need 2,161 items in my store in order to achieve my goal of $3,000 profit per month. So there's my new recalibrated plan. We might have to adjust it again in another month. We'll see. Thanks for watching eBay with Chris. I really hope you enjoyed this update. If you really want to follow my journey from $0 profit to $3,000 profit per month, go ahead and click on the subscribe button right here. And if you want to binge watch eBay with Chris, I know you do because there's so much good content there, go ahead and start with this video right here. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys.